There was a young boy called David who used to fight with his parents. He liked to do things that were not adequate to his age. He spent all time playing video games, going to parties, or doing antics with a bunch of friends that were not the best influence. Some other times he was alone and sad, and all this started to badly influence on his little sister who only was 10. David and his family lived next to the forest, and every morning, on the backyard or close to the front door, they found footprints on the mud, or they heard weird noises at night. Today is Friday. The moon is really beautiful and it's raining. David's parents are arriving to the supermarket, and then they will search for some dinner for David and his little sister. The hall lights are marking the way for David. He knows that a group of friends are going to have a good night at the house of David's best friend, and he really wants to go, even if he only stays an hour or less. David starts to feel nervous. This week he had a lot of fights, especially with his father, but he decides to quickly go with his friends, just 1 hour. David runs through the house, with silence, to keep his little sister slept. The short path are the woods next to his house, so he decides to take it. The darkness surrounded the trees, and suddenly, David hears something moving on the bushes. He stays shocked. He doesn't know how to react. There is no one who could help him if someone is there, and suddenly tries to hurt him. He decides to start running to his friend's house, and then he noticed that he was already arriving to his friend's backyard. David has a lot of fun, and he's having a good time. And exactly 1 hour later, he decides to return home to avoid his parents' punishment. He starts walking through the woods, and again, he started to hear something moving. This time, the movement on the bushes is even closer to his house. David decides to keep walking, thinking that probably an animal is there, or maybe a neighbor. Suddenly, he arrives home. David's shoes have mud, so he decides to clean them, and then he gets in the house. He walks through the dark hall, and he takes a look on his sister's bedroom. There she is, under the bed sheets. He decides to pull her sister's head out to avoid sweating, and the only thing he found was a pillow and a note. The note said, "Thanks for leaving the door unlocked." David ran through the house, searching for his sister, but he couldn't find her. The days passed, and no one knows where David's little sister is. Some people think that a kidnapper got into the house and took the kid away. Some others think that she goes to search for David and she got lost. And some other ones even start thinking on paranormal things. No one knows what happened to her.